in the middle of 20 series. And yes, they're all behind me. Well, not all of them, because some of them I have on my Kindle, but having all the books out, or most of the books out like this, puts into perspective how many series I'm in the middle of, and it overwhelms me. 20 might not be a high number for some people, but it is for me. One of my reading goals for the new year is finishing series before I start new ones. This looks overwhelming. It's like they're haunting me. Anyways, we're gonna start this video off with a book that was just recently released. You might know what I'm talking about, you might not, but this book has had the most hype I've seen around a book being released than I've seen before for any other books. And I'm not exaggerating. My For You page was filled with it. My Instagram, my Facebook page was filled with it. I couldn't escape it, and that is Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. I actually got this several days before the release date. I think I got it like a week before it actually released. I don't know what happened. I was just one of the lucky ones that got it. And look how beautiful the edges are. There was a Target edition one, I'll put it right here, but it had different sprayed edge, it had a bookmark with it, and it had original art inside, but since I'm in Canada, I couldn't get it. And I heard people were going crazy. People were going crazy for it. Some stores even had it out early, but they couldn't sell it, so people were switching out the dust jackets so they can buy it. Like, it's crazy. These were the only editions that were in Canada. It sold up pretty fast. Like, the day of the release, like, it was gone. You could not see it online. Like, you can maybe go to the bookstore and see if they had it there. Anyways, I'm gonna go read. For all those reading this series, have you guys realized that Tarn is basically like Xaden and Sigale, like Violet? I don't know much of Xaden and Sigale's relationship because it's mostly in Violet's point of view, but like, they're basically writing each other. Wait, no, sorry, that was inappropriate, I'm sorry. But yeah, the dragons are like each other, like they attract each other basically, even in other forms. Anyways, this book, I am 25% in. It's taking so long for me to get through this book. I don't know why, but I'm 25% in chapter 15, and this book has been such high stakes from the very beginning. There's been so many battles so far, and I'm at the edge of my seat because there's so many times when people's lives are on the line, like the main characters and Violet's, and like, oh my god, like she has almost died like 5 times in the series, and I'm like, it can't end like this. I was like crying for one part of it because someone that I really liked was in danger, and I was like, it can't end like this. We're literally 10% into the book. Anyways, yeah, that's what's happening right now. I can't. Is eating everything, the tension, everything, the romance is just... I now remember why I was so obsessed with Xaden Ryerson from day one. I'm gonna read you some quotes. I'm trying to find quotes that will not give anything away. I mean, if you read the last 2 books in the series, or even the first book, you're gonna know what their relationship is like, but I don't want to give anything away in this reading vlog, because I want you guys to experience what I'm experiencing right now. I am like beyond giddy. I don't know why I'm like finding myself giddy and like just kicking my feet, giggling on words written on paper or on my Kindle, but it's a quote from Xaden. I'm yours and you're mine, and there's no law or rule in this world or the next that will change that. I literally said, oh my god, if a man said that to me, I would just melt. This next one says, if I'd been there beyond the wards, I would have drained the very earth to its very core to keep you safe. It's literally giving a villain will burn down the world to save you. There's so much I highlighted, and I am so giddy. There's this like where this guy was really close with Violet and he was like, he was gonna touch you. And he's like, yes, love, I'm jealous. And he uses his shadows to freaking push that guy to the wall, like across the room. Oh my god, I just love him. There's so many more quotes I want to share with you guys, but it's like there's spoilers in it, so I don't want to say anything about that, but I'm absolutely loving this. I'm absolutely loving Xaden Ryerson right now. This book has me gagged. Like, what? I'm finding out things that I didn't even know existed. Like, what? I guess it's time for a book update. I am on chapter 34, 55% through the book. And this is day 3 of me reading it. I thought I'd finish it maybe like in 2 days, but like it's taking me a while to get through it. Either it's boring me and I keep putting it down, or I just like don't want it to end. I don't know which one. Like, I'm in the middle, because if you saw last night, the romance, oh my god, I love the romance of this book. It's like amazing. I don't want to say like what trope, but like, oh my god, Xaden's gonna kill me. Xaden is gonna kill me. He's gonna be the death of me. The flirting in their heads through their bond is just adorable. It's very, very high stakes, which I love. It started out with super, super high stakes. It's still super high stakes now. And now we all know there's like something coming. There's a war coming. And they're traveling, looking for allies. They're traveling to like different places. And they're traveling to very tropical places. And it's giving like Edward and Bella during Breaking Dawn Part 1. During their honeymoon. And I'm loving it. I freaking love Twilight. Should I reread Twilight? But like, Xaden's living in the moment, Violet's living in the moment, Xaden is relaxed, and everyone's like, what happened to him? Like, he's giving out compliments here and there, and he's nice. I'm all gonna say chapter 25 is what we were waiting for. That's what all I was waiting for. And how long did I have to wait? I had to wait 213 pages for that. Anyways, I'm gonna keep reading and probably update you guys later on when something... I just know this book is gonna break my heart. Is happening right now? Oh my god. I was absolutely devastated. I was absolutely devastated when something happened to one of my favorite side characters, but it didn't. We're all good. We're all good. We're all good. I can breathe again. Hello, my lovely watchers. I finished this book last night. I literally stayed up till 3 in the morning to finish this book. I was left speechless like I am now. Like, the ending, like, devastated me, broke my heart, shocked me, all of the above. Because why do you leave it like that? I mean, it was expected. It happened in the first 2 books that it left in a cliffhanger. But like, why do you leave it like that? Now I have to wait till 2027. 2 years. 2 years to find out what that just meant. And then me, being like, I can't stop thinking about this, went on Reddit, TikTok, and started looking up theories and stuff. Like, I already had theories in my head. There's so many out there. And I was like, damn, everyone's catching on. Like, everyone has similar theories. Different theories about Violet, different theories about Xaden, different theories about different characters. It's really good. It's way better than Iron Flame and maybe even better than Fourth Wing, and I love the first book. And I feel like this book really sets up for the next two books. Like, there's so many unanswered questions, some small little stories on the side that are left kind of hanging, like there's no ending to them. There's just a lot going on. Like, this sets up the last two books excellently. Like, it's either gonna like amaze me, blow my mind, everything, or it's gonna flop. Miss Rebecca Yarros, please take your time. I'm not even mad. Don't rush it. Don't rush it. Take your time. Take your time writing the next book, because I'd rather wait a long time than have it flop, because there's so much potential in this series from this book. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. I will tell you my thoughts and feelings about like the rest of the book and the book overall. Xaden Ryerson. I love you. That's all I gotta say. I love you so much. Like I said, the romance of this book, loved it. Way better than Iron Flame and Fourth Wing. I loved from the very beginning of the book that everything was high stakes. Like, everything, so much action, so much battles, they're on missions. And Violet, during this whole thing, showed me what, like, such a leader she is. Like, there's so much character development from the first book to this book. Like, the first book, she was described as small, frail, like, not meant to be a writer, you know, fragile. That was mentioned a lot in that book. But now she is like, I do not want to mess with you. I want you on my side. I want you on my side. Even though I want you mad. Like I said, they're going on missions, different places to get some allies, and she just gets straight to the point. She puts people in their places, like negotiating, torturing, and just getting what she wants. Like, she puts everyone in their place, outsmarts everyone. Wow. Like, she even puts Xaden in his place, and no one ever does that to him, except for maybe Sigil, but girl boss. I also, one of my favorite characters, Riddick, in this book, plays such a bigger role, and I love him. If you know him, he's like kind of the jokester of the group, but the character development he went through, I love him. I swear to God, if something bad happens to him, please don't. Please. Like, I am so emotionally connected and invested in this series and these characters and whatever they're going through. Please. Like, the newfound family in this book with Violet and her squad, like, they are there for each other, never leaving a man behind. Like, they have each other's back. And the dragons, like, I was already in love with them in the first book, and I just love them now. I've been talking for like 10 minutes straight, so I probably need to stop. So upon looking at the reviews of this book and, like, you know, TikToks and videos, people talking about it, some people really hated this book. I'm surprised, because I loved it. I think it was the best one in the series yet. I absolutely love this. Once you know the meaning of Onyx Storm, like, it just broke my heart. I love this. I think I'm gonna give it a 5. It might even be a 6. Depends if I, like, still think about it days and days and even months and weeks and, you know, later on. But I'm gonna give it a 5 right now. I don't care what people say. It's almost 1 p.m. Like, I've done everything I needed to do. But I've been sitting here trying to pick up the next book, but I can't because I keep thinking about this. Maybe I just need to push through this book so I can stop thinking about this. And speaking of the next book, I want to finish the Inheritance game series, and the last book in that trilogy is The Final Gambit. I know there's 2 other books like after this series, or some people consider it in this series, but I think those are like spin-offs. Like, the next book is in the brothers' point of view, but this is basically about a girl named Avery. She is like from a really low income family. Well, she doesn't even have a family, she just has her sister, and one day she gets a visit from one of the Hawthorne brothers and was like, "You're listed in my grandfather's will and you need to come." And turns out she inherits all his fortunes, which is like billions and billions of dollars, his company and all his properties. And this book is like considered like a mystery, not a thriller, more of a mystery, YA mystery. The Hawthorne family, Tobias Hawthorne, the guy who died, is fond of puzzles, riddles, and all that. In each book so far, there's been a mystery. And this one, I think it's just gonna tie everything together because I don't have all the details. I want all the questions that I have based on what happened in the previous 2 books. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start reading this, and hopefully I stop thinking about this, but I don't think I could. Hello. It is a couple hours later. I think I've been reading for 2 hours and I'm this far into the book. I got to page 110, chapter 27. This book was really hard to get into, like the first 50 pages. I don't know, I feel like I'm in a little bit of a reading slump because I can't stop thinking about Onyx Storm, but then there's an interesting character that shows up and that character is just super unlikable. Everything this character is doing is wrong, like pretending, oh my god, like I can't take this anymore, it hurts, like girl, playing the victim are we? Everything about this character is just super sus, and I feel like that's one of the reasons why I'm reading into it, to see what happens to this specific character, because this character is messing everything up. Like the dynamics between Avery and the brothers, it's just, I don't like it. Anyways, the last chapter, Max, who is Avery's best friend from her old life, started talking about like book tropes, and she said, I'm not a friends to lovers, I'm more star-crossed, tragedy, supernatural soulmates, enemies to lovers, epic. I'm like, yeah, same. Like, why would you want a boring friends to lovers when you can start with a little bit tension, hatred turns into affection, and then you're just obsessed with each other. Kind of like Fourth Wing. No, I can't stop thinking about that. But anyways, I'm gonna keep reading. Hello guys, it's the next morning, or actually it's not morning, it's like afternoon, it's like 4 p.m. So I did end up finishing the final gambit last night, and I guess I'm happy with the ending. I'm happy. Like, I don't think I'm gonna read the 2 other books in the series. I think they're like kind of spin-offs from this book. I'm so glad that I finally have the closure on why Tobias Hawthorne gave Avery his legacy, his fortune, essentially. And this book got crazy. Like, I thought that would be the end of it, but no, there was like still 70 pages left in the book, and there's a lot that happened. Everything in this book and in this series is so thought out and methodical that every little thing that's introduced to you in the beginning ties in with something at the end. Like, it fits the riddle, it fits the puzzle, every little thing. The female main character, Avery, kind of reminds me of Pip from A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. They're so smart and intelligent and putting these clues together and like connecting them with other things, because I'm like, I wouldn't have put that together. Like, do they just come up with that in their heads? Like, I don't know, because I'm not that smart. I would not be able to put that together. Anyways, I'm glad I finished the series. I don't know if I'm going to read the 2 other books, but if you want something where there's like a complicated family dynamic, family lies, and secrets and betrayal, it's all here, and it's YA, so it's super easy to read. Totally enjoyed this. I think I'm gonna give it a 4. It did kind of help me stop thinking about Onyx Storm, but it's still in my head, so hopefully this next book will help me kind of put that out of mind and completely focus on the book in front of me, because there's times where a character or something does something that reminds me of Onyx Storm. I'm back in that heartache of that book. Anyways, the next series we're gonna finish, it's not a complete series. Like, I think the new book is coming out soon this year, I believe, and that is the second book in the Powerless series. I've been looking forward to this, but then I forgot it's on my shelf. Hopefully this is a good ending that doesn't leave me hanging like Onyx Storm. Okay, here we go again. I need to stop thinking about that. I'm only like a chapter in this book, and I remember why Powerless was one of my like 5 or 6 star reads last year. Hello guys, I am not feeling my very best today. It's dark and gloomy and cold outside. Yesterday it was like minus 35 and today it's a little bit better, but it's still cold. It's minus 21 and I got this far into the book last night. I read so much. I'm now on page 203, chapter 28. As you saw from my reaction, I loved this book from the very first chapter. I remember loving Powerless so much last year, and if you don't know what this series is about, it's basically about a world compromised of elites, people who have power. Decades ago there was a plague and the plague ended up gifting them powers, and people who don't have any powers and are normal are called ordinaries, and they are shunned and killed from the kingdom because the king saw them as a disease that would weaken the elites. And that's where our female main character comes from. Her name's Peyton. It's that typical romantasy where the female main character comes from the bottom sector and her love interest is like the highest, most powerful people. And if you haven't read Powerless and you want to read it, skip to this time. I'm not gonna spoil Reckless, I'm just gonna mention names from the first book, so if you want to go in totally blind, skip to this time. Anyways, this book is so good. Kai is the future enforcer and he is on the hunt for Peyton because of what happened in the last book. It's so crazy. Both are in a battle between love and loyalty, duty and desire, and it's kind of like a kiss or kill trope. I don't know, is that a trope? Because that's what it is right now and I'm loving it so much. It's like, want to, but they shouldn't. Like, you know that? It's good so far, and the situation they're in right now is so funny. It's so good. Anyways, I'm gonna keep reading. I'm gonna stay in bed. I just finished this book and the ending, I felt like I saw it coming when I first read about that something that's brought up at the end. Oh my god, why does it always end like that? Like, why does it end with a cliffhanger like Onyx Storm? Fearless doesn't come out till April 8th. Are you kidding me? And I think it's the last book because it's a trilogy. I heard a lot of people didn't really like this compared to Powerless, but I think I loved this book just as much or maybe a little bit more than Powerless because it was mainly around Peyton and Kai. I loved the dual point of view, but then we also got Kit's perspective sprinkled in through the book. I think he had like less than 10 chapters. I got to see what the different characters were feeling. Like, I feel like this book was very emotionally driven by like what the characters are going through, what they've gone through. Like I said before, it's a battle between love and loyalty and duty and desire, and this book just captured that so much. Like, I literally have no words. There were times where some of the scenes were dragging, but like I honestly didn't mind it. I loved the romance in here. There was so much more romance in this one compared to Powerless, but Powerless was more like higher stakes than this one, so I'm giving it 5 stars. I loved it. This whole book felt like poetry. The emotion and feelings in those short lines like really captivate you as a reader. I was captivated. Thank you, Kai, for putting my mind off of Xaden Ryerson. Anyways, that brings me to the end of this video. I feel so good finishing 3 series out of the 20 I was in the middle of. Now I can check it off on my list. A little bit of a weight lifted off my shoulder because one goal I had this year was finish series before starting new ones, so I won't be in this situation again, being in the middle of 20 series, because that is overwhelming. And these books that I read in this video, loved them. Like, I'm not surprised because I loved the first few books in the series, and I guess it's safe to assume that I would love the next few books, which isn't always the case, but for these series I really loved it, especially for Fourth Wing and Powerless. If you made it this far into the video, comment the dragon emoji because my favorite book in this video that I read was Onyx Storm. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope I see you in another one. Bye.